Stretch Armstrong. You can stretch him all kinds of ways. You can stretch his arms.
There was a time when Christmas didn't arrive in 2 days with free shipping. It arrived in the mail, wrapped in glossy paper and thick with possibility. The Sears Wish Book, the J.C. Penney Christmas catalog. That first thud on the doorstep meant it was officially the holiday season. You'd grab a marker or a pen, maybe even a crayon, and start circling your dreams. Let's take a little trip back through those dog-eared pages and remember the toys that made every 1970s Christmas feel like a dream you could hold in your hands. Number 1. Colorforms. Stick-on creativity.
With Colorforms' Incredible Hulk Adventure Set,
I'll be the Incredible Hulk.
you can pretend lots of things. Like the Hulk is battling his archenemy Rhino, or using his incredible strength against the Abomination.
Before we had screens to swipe, we had vinyl shapes to stick. Colorforms were pure, quiet magic. Simple sets of peel-and-stick vinyl pieces that let kids build worlds over and over again. One day, you were dressing up cartoon characters. The next, you were staging an entire superhero showdown on your bedroom floor. The genius of Colorforms was how tactile it was. That satisfying peel sound when you lifted a piece off. The smooth feel of the glossy backdrop. Every box came with possibility. You didn't just play, you composed. And if the pieces lost their stick after a few too many adventures, you just breathed on them and stuck them right back down. Colorforms were the definition of creativity before iPads. Quiet afternoons, big imaginations, and scenes that changed as quickly as our moods. Number 2. Snoopy Snow Cone Machine, the workout dessert.
It's the yum fun that is cool and free, and its name is the Snoopy Snow Cone Machine. You put ice cubes in and get a snow cone out. This is fun. Yum fun is what it's all about.
If childhood had a flavor, it might just be the syrupy sweetness of a Snoopy snow cone. That cheerful red and white contraption sat proudly on countless kitchen tables, a tiny ice factory shaped like Snoopy's doghouse. You'd crank the handle till your arm hurt, the sound of grinding ice echoing through the house, all for a thimble-sized scoop of crunchy cherry-red snow. It was sticky, it was messy, and it was glorious. The syrup came in a tiny squeeze bottle that usually got lost by New Year's, but somehow the ritual remained. You didn't just make a snow cone, you earned it. Every kid who owned one remembers that mix of effort and reward, the cold ice, the sugar rush, and the pride of serving dessert to your friends like a pint-sized soda jerk. Snoopy's machine wasn't just a toy. It was your first taste of independence, and probably your first hand cramp, too. Number 3. Rock'em Sock'em Robots, the eternal grudge match.
I can be any kid on the block. Oh yeah, yeah.
They're slugging it out. A left to the jaw, and...
Oh, my block is knocked off.
Few toys captured the spirit of the 70s quite like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Two plastic boxers trapped in a never-ending brawl, their fate decided by how fast you could mash those red and blue buttons. It was chaos. It was competition. And it was pure sibling rivalry turned sport. The sound, that glorious clack, clack, clack of the robots trading blows, could fill a living room faster than a commercial break.
They're slugging it out in the middle of the ring. And there's a hard drive to the jaw.
You'd lean in close, eyes locked on those wobbly heads, fingers pounding the controls, and then, pop! One robot's head would launch skyward, and the room would explode with laughter, or, depending on who lost, tears. Every kid had a favorite corner, red rocker or blue bomber, and every game ended the same way, someone yelling, "Best 2 out of 3." And let's be honest, no video game has ever quite replicated that feeling of triumph when your opponent's head went flying. It was low-tech, loud, and absolutely legendary. Number 4. Spirograph, the art of endless circles.
Groovy designs, super designs, you make them all with the world-famous Spirograph, or the deluxe set, Super Spirograph. Spiromania!
If you wanted to feel like an artist, even if you couldn't draw a straight line, Spirograph was your masterpiece machine. A handful of plastic gears, a few colored pens, and suddenly your kitchen table was transformed into a swirling galaxy of loops, spirals, and dizzying designs. You'd start with careful precision, tongue sticking out in concentration, and by the end, there'd be ink smudges up your wrist and paper curling from overuse.
Amazing. These are just a few of the designs that can be made with Spirograph by Kenner.
But when it worked, when the pattern clicked just right, it felt like magic. The geometric perfection, the hypnotic repetition, the simple joy of watching art emerge from math and motion. Every completed design was a tiny triumph destined for the fridge or your trapper keeper. Sure, the pen would sometimes slip, and your masterpiece would skid off into chaos, but that was part of the charm. Spirograph wasn't about perfection. It was about patience, imagination, and that little gasp of pride when you held up your creation to the light. Number 5. Breyer Horses, Dreaming in Gallop. For the horse-obsessed kids, mostly girls, but not always, Breyer horses were a whole world. Glossy, elegant, and perfectly poised mid-stride, they weren't just toys, they were companions in the kind of daydreams that lasted all afternoon. Each horse had a name, a personality, and a spot on the dresser like a prized trophy. You didn't just play with Breyers, you lived in their stories. Alright, real talk. If you've ever spent an afternoon circling half the Sears Wish Book and dreaming big, you're in the right place. I'll keep bringing back those cozy catalog Christmas memories. You just hit that subscribe button and we'll call it even. And hey, if you're on Facebook, come join our little nostalgia community. We're swapping stories, old toy memories, and maybe still arguing over who got the better Christmas haul, Barbie's Camper or the Evel Knievel Stunt Cycle. Number 6. Light Bright, Art That Glowed.
Light, the toy that lets you create beautiful pictures with light.
You'd poke tiny colored pegs through black paper, light them from behind, and suddenly your bedroom glowed with magic. Light Bright wasn't just a toy, it was your nightlight, your art gallery, and your proof that patience paid off. Sure, stepping on one of those pegs barefoot was agony, but when that board lit up, it was worth every scream. Number 7. Chrissy and Velvet Dolls, Hair Today, More Tomorrow.
Here's the thing.
Hair that grows, hair that goes to here, to there, to anywhere you like, it goes.
Here's new Velvet. Her hair grows, just like her cousin, beautiful Chrissy.
No toy felt more like wizardry. You'd twist a knob on their back and poof, their hair would grow right before your eyes. One turn too many and you'd get a tangled disaster, but that didn't stop anyone. For every kid who'd cut a Barbie's bangs in regret, Chrissy and Velvet were a second chance at styling glory. It was magic you could brush, braid, and start again. Number 8. Barbie's Country Camper, Freedom on 4 Pink Wheels.
Look, there goes Malibu Barbie and her suntanned friends with their glasses and their beach towels. They're going on a trip, and you can go along in Barbie's Country Camper.
It wasn't just a camper, it was Barbie's ticket to the open road. Bright orange doors, a fold-out tent, and just enough room for Ken, Skipper, and an impossible number of shoes. You could almost hear the hum of the highway as you rolled it across the living room carpet. No Wi-Fi, no GPS, just adventure, imagination, and a pink plastic sleeping bag. Number 9. Evel Knievel Stunt Cycle, Danger in the Living Room.
What a jump! Evel's riding the amazing stunt cycle. That gyro power sends him over 100 feet at top speed. Loop-de-loop, and he's not through yet.
He was America's daredevil, and we had the toy to prove it. Wind him up, hit the launcher, and watch him soar over books, shoes, dogs, and occasionally the family cat. The jumps didn't always land, but when they did, it was pure glory. Every rug became a stadium, every ramp a headline stunt. Before we wrap this one up, let's take a peek at some of your favorite Christmas memories from the last video. These stories are the best part of doing this. They bring those catalog pages right back to life. So, tell me down in the comments, what toy did you circle every single year but never got? Or maybe the one you finally did? Who knows? Your story might show up right here on screen next time. Number 10. Stretch Armstrong, the strongest and strangest toy around.
Kenner presents Stretch Armstrong. You can stretch him all kinds of ways. You can stretch his arms. You can stretch his legs.
Blonde, muscular, and endlessly elastic, Stretch Armstrong was the human stress test of the toy world. You could pull his arms across the room, tie them in knots, and he'd just keep smiling that stoic smile until someone froze him, cut him open, or stretched him too far. Then came the sticky, mysterious goo that ended his career. Still, for a while, he felt indestructible, and so did we. Looking back, maybe we didn't need every toy we circled. Maybe that wasn't the point. The joy came from dreaming, from flipping those glossy pages and imagining who we'd be if Santa delivered just one of those treasures. And even now, decades later, when you see a yellowed catalog on a thrift store shelf, something stirs. That same spark that once made Christmas feel limitless. Because before there were online wish lists and next-day delivery, there was the wish book. And it gave us something even better, a reason to imagine.